Please note that this week's story contains language that some may find offensive or misogynistic. Manawaker Studios Flash Fiction Podcast is supported by patrons on Patreon. To find out more or to add your support for as little as $1 a month, visit patreon.com/Manawaker. Welcome to Manawaker Studios Flash Fiction Podcast. I'm C.B. Derogi. This week, Tasters by Joe Baumann. She makes her fortune after root rot kills the soybeans, the cows all go mad, and infectious bronchitis fells the chickens. Everything meaty wiped out in a quick blight. And then, left standing, her with her golden skin and muscle that piles onto her bones thick and fast, like those spongy pill toys that when dropped in water explode into dinosaur shapes, giraffes, and swinging monkeys. Her skin, smooth and golden and gleaming like something battered and fried. Instead of lotion, she rubs herself with salt, then lays on a blanket in the public park until the smell draws the hungry, their mouths salivating, eyes boring into her flesh, jaws gnashing as if they are carrion birds. She sits up, ruffles her hair with a series of small shakes, and produces a potato peeler from a beach bag decorated with cartoon kittens. The first few shears hurt simply from the expectation of pain, even when agony isn't really there because, after all, her nerves can only stretch out so far, and these extra layers that cling to her like needy children go beyond those bounds. The brain is tricked into some kind of groan and flinch, but then she gets used to it as she cuts, switching to a paring knife when she hits the good stuff, the quadriceps that glisten with fat and steam, the lean bicep and triceps. They crowd without shame, the roil of hunger overpowering the curl of revulsion. She shouts out prices per slab of juicy meat, and hands thrust dollar bills at her like confetti. They rain down around her, and she gathers them up, more money than she's ever had before. Already, after that first wave, the cuts have healed, the meat and epidermis sewn up and growing again. She can feel it, like pillows being stacked atop her prone form. She takes her show on the road, slicing bits of herself off like lamb and chicken from the turning spits in Greek restaurants. She slathers her arms in crushed pepper and cumin, douses her calves in hot sauce and grain mustard, her buttocks steep in Worcestershire. From a cart she doles out her body, carves her abdominal muscles and her shoulders and ribs. Health inspectors look the other way in return for morsels of latissimus dorsi. The world follows her in a marching stream, licking their lips and groaning at the satisfaction in their bellies. Rich women, throats clad in pearls and jade and amethyst, pay for her to cater afternoon teas and bat mitzvahs, ignoring the rules of kosher. Michelin chefs experiment with her flesh, presenting tartares and regals and hamstring naqua to high rollers and foreign dignitaries and oil barons. She receives applause and glazed stares of gluttony on the Food Network. Men ask her on dates, propose marriage, make lewd calls, wild to taste the intimacy she does not sell. She receives death threats, crazed letters written in chicken scratch. I want to gobble your eyeballs, suck down your intestines, gnash your ventricles against my molars. She hires bodyguards, builds a fence around a mansion, pays for her best friend's gender reassignment surgery. She hosts charity galas, $200 per plate. Bobby Flay prepares the charcuterie of her cheeks and throat, while celebs sip mimosas and whisper about their favorite canapes. The fingerling potato mash with thumb shavings is a hit. People ask, will you fall in love? Will you marry? How many children will you bear? She shrugs these questions off, ignores the handsome men that fall to one knee, laughs at the dozens of roses, the invitations to Paris and Maui, slurps down the bottles of expensive Bordeaux without sending thank you cards. Online she is called a cunt, a twat, a tease, a whorebitch slut. She laughs and responds with silence or candid shots of her flipping off the camera as she sloughs off a strip of abductor for brazing. Everyone she knows wants her. They flock to the bits she flays off, chunked and shaved and marinated and poached and broiled and charred. They know her flavor, her tenderness. But what is behind that skin and meat? What seeps into the bones, into her offal and sweetbreads? Do her glial cells taste like chicken? Will her axons and neurobulbs light up the taste buds with a zip of umami? She is flash-fried, pan-seared, and brined, flambéed, macerated, simmered. She is used, digested, shat out. She sticks to intestines, nourishes nervous systems, clogs arteries. No one really knows her, but everyone wants a taste. This has been Tasters, written by Joe Baumann, and originally appearing in The Bitter Oleander. For more information about Manawaker Studios' other projects, including books and games, visit manawaker.com, which is also where you should go to learn more about the authors featured on this podcast or to get details about submitting a story. The Flash Fiction Podcast theme song is by Kevin MacLeod. Manawaker Studios' director of DICE is Ben Baston. I'm CB Droege. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at CBDROEGE. Thanks for listening.